everyone. Welcome to another episode of The Roots of Africa. In today's episode, we are going to highlight how it was at the launch. We're going to have King Bhungane of Embo Kingdom, Mr. Anthony Kituku of Equity Bank, Linda Sababeri, chairperson of AIBC, and Ms. Krishna Kamarena Sajan. Welcome and enjoy the program. This program is proudly brought to you by Equity Bank Diaspora, Uganda Limited. Our contact person is Winfred Warui. Contact her on her cell phone number, email address, WhatsApp, and for more information, visit the website.
In this occasion, I would like to address my participation toward the historical influences and contributions of the Afro-descendants in our country, Panama, in two historical moments. First, I will mention the moment in which our ancestors were brought to this country from different parts of Africa, such as Congo, Guinea, and Angola, just to mention a few, as slaves during the colonial period, becoming an important factor in the growth of the cities of the time, since their contribution to include being the workforce who constructed city buildings and fortresses, performed hard labor for the local government, and did the domestic chores as well, including raising their master's children, playing important role as cultural agents, as well as the labor and economic force behind the development of the colony, contributing to the configuration of the Panamanian society. I must be saying that the cultural heritage of the diverse African ethnicities that came together as they run away from slavery is priceless for us. As they established the first settlement of runaway slaves or Cimarrons, they preserved their sense of Africa identity. In addition, great contributions were made during this period in other aspects like laws, journalism, medicine, and business, among others. Today, their descendants currently interact in all branches of the economic, scientific, cultural, and political affairs, but there is still more to do to acknowledge the contributions made by those who talked and took part of a project on the magnitude and the big constructions of an interoceanic canal that finally became true, being until today a milestone in history. Both Afro-colonials and the Afro-Antilles are fundamental part of the cultural development and the construction of the Panama nationality and identity that must be recognized. And even through on May 31st, we commemorate the Black Ethnicity Day. That is not enough. Unfortunately, I need to say the situation of many of our brothers and sisters faced today are still submitted to discrimination, racism, poverty, inequality, which we seek vehemently to eliminate. That is why we need to continue our effort to educate the population about the historical contribution of the Afro-descendants in Panama. It is important for the new generations to understand that they must be proud of their heritage, regardless of the obstacles they face. Besides, it is worth noting the active participation of civil society and the Afro-Panamanian movement in keeping a permanent fight on issues of reivindications and commitment of the state with our communities in order to guarantee equal opportunities for our people, as well as the respect and historical recognition that the Panamanian Afro-descendants deserve. With this role, I say that we will be glad to one day nearby we can gather together, be here in Panama, and have reunited with our African ancestors. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ms. Krishna, for telling us about the historical contribution for the African descendant. And yes, indeed, our African descendant, our youth should know all about the history. Thank you again. Now we welcome Ms. Linda Nzababeri, our chairperson of AIBC. Thank you very much and welcome, Linda.
Today, wherever you are in the world, there is a lot of talk about Africa. Business opportunities in Africa. Africa is rich with natural resources. Africa, the last investment frontier. But if we look back at our history, we realize that the conversation about Africa today is not new. Europeans and people from all over the world have traveled to Africa, the home of civilization, not just for its natural resources, but for its most valued assets, the African people, which they took and used to build their countries and their economies, eventually colonizing us. And so when I hear these conversations over and over again and see what is happening across Africa today, the words of George Bernard Shaw immediately come to mind. We learn from history that we learn nothing from history. Whether it is the pillaging of resources across Africa in the name of development, a situation the World Bank itself acknowledged in a 2018 report stating that there is evidence of how much poorer Africa was becoming thanks to mineral, oil, and gas extraction by foreign corporations. Or whether it is the labor recruitment agencies across Africa that are sending our children to Europe and Asia on a promise of a better life. What we see is history repeating itself. I say all this simply as a cautionary tale, but I am hopeful and I am optimistic because of this community here that not only sees and understands this challenge before us, but are working with the same sense of urgency to fix these things and to build an Africa for Africans, by Africans, no matter where you are in the world. As IDO, we started the process of engaging on the business and investment side of things by creating the AIBC. Our responsibility as the AIBC is to chart the way forward on business and economic opportunities for Africa. And the business opportunities in Africa are vast. I myself am from Uganda, and any day now we are finally starting commercial production of oil and gas. The Democratic Republic of Congo, if it was measured by its resources, is probably the richest country on earth. West and South Africa are investing in arts and culture, partnering with international powerhouses like Sony, Netflix, Spotify. Our very own Ndlovu Jewelry creates masterpieces using South Africa's precious metal. Most recently, delivering a one-of-a-kind piece that tells a beautiful African story to our own African brother, Michael Blackson in Hollywood. Africa needs solutions in energy. We need solutions in healthcare, education, connectivity, and food security. As a continent, we have the kind of weather that ensures that food is grown all year round, and we need logistic and supply chains to link markets. We need to build industry and manufacturing capabilities so we can create decent economic opportunities. And so for the next few minutes, I would like to turn our focus on how the AIBC will work with you to harness these opportunities. First, it's doing things differently. At the Investment and Business Forum, which we hosted in partnership with the African Chamber of Commerce in Scandinavia in November 2020, Ambassador Namboka spoke about the need to de-politicize business. It is generally accepted practice that if you want to do business in Africa, you pursue the government. And in some cases, it is the right thing to do. but it cannot be the only way to get things done. We need to work directly with people and communities. They have the knowledge, they have the land, they have the access to the resources, they have structures, they have networks. We need to empower them and invest not just in them, but with them. IDO has a strong network of individuals, communities, organizations, and we're also plugged into our very own governments who are ready to work with you on a mutual development agenda. Depending on your interests, we will find the opportunities. We will open the doors, we will connect you to them, and we will work with you through the journey. The second thing we need to do is the second thing that we will do as the AIBC is project development and packaging. We understand the needs of our community, but we equally understand the need to do business and what investors and partners are looking for. We work with project owners to develop and package projects to make them ready for investment and partnership. The third thing we're working on as the AIBC is building capacity. We need to create awareness among our people, among ourselves, and educate our communities. Many of us do not understand how the world works, how capital is mobilized, how it moves, how it is used to impact communities. As Dr. Melinda Harris Barrow highlighted, we are striving to develop and grow and prosper in Africa in a system that has been designed to fail, and we must change that through educating ourselves. Within the next month, we will lay out a detailed plan on networking and learning events. And so I am making a call to action to anyone out there who is interested in participating to join us. We have our first event planned for April of this year. Let me also take this opportunity to acknowledge Equity Bank and the support we as IDO continue to receive from them. I spoke earlier about the need to work with and invest in community. Nothing epitomizes this more than the story of Equity Bank. Throughout its evolution, Equity Bank focused on the economically marginalized to become one of the largest banks in Africa. They are a true testament that you can never go wrong by investing in communities and the human beings within them.
This program is proudly brought to you by Equity Bank Diaspora, Uganda Limited. Our contact person is Winfred Warui. Contact her on her cell phone number, email address, WhatsApp, and for more information, visit the website. That was wonderful, Miss Linda Sababeri, for informing us about the mandate of AIBC and also for telling us about the business opportunities that are there for Africa. We'd like to welcome our sponsors, Equity Bank Uganda, the MD, Mr. Anthony Kituku.
Our vision as a bank is to be the champion of the social, economic prosperity of the people of Africa. And our mission is to transform lives, give dignity, and expand opportunities for wealth creation across the continent. We've been doing this for about 36 years now, and we're now in 6 African countries, primarily, of course, from our parent company, Kenya, then Uganda, Tanzania, South Sudan, Rwanda, and most recently, DRC. In that space, what we are working on and doing is ensuring that we can empower the Africans, give them a financial institution that understands them and their needs, and a partner which understands that the African people have the power to control and determine their destiny if they are given the financial muscle to do so. We have actually chosen to partner with the Africans wherever they are in the diaspora, and the diaspora is pretty big. We partner and play in all the different locations in the world. We provide the tools in terms of access to systems. We partner with the various money transfer organizations such as Wave, Western Union, MoneyGram, to make sure that Africans in the diaspora all over the world can contribute to the development of their continent. We also ensure that we partner with various organizations, diaspora organizations, just like IDO, just like UNA in the US, the UK convention team, to try and ensure that we always update the diaspora on the opportunities that exist to invest in Africa. the key thing that we're noticing, as I think one of our previous presenters mentioned, is yes, you do find different people of different origins, China, India, Europe, the Americas, investing in Africa. We understand that it is the Africans who have built many of these great countries and civilizations. And sometimes we challenge ourselves and ask ourselves, why don't the Africans who have thrived in those different foreign and technologically advanced locations invest back in Africa? Africa is in dire need of particular things: better infrastructure, better technology, better health and Medicare, better education systems. Very many Africans in diaspora have been exposed to these things, and the challenge has always been, we can't find a partner to help us channel our investments, look after them, and ensure that they actually give a return, a viable economic return. So Equity Bank is very happy to be that partner for you. We are the leading partner for diaspora remittances in the region. The money is safe and secure end to end. Cybersecurity is extremely important to us because of the huge volumes that are coming through our system. We're also keen to ensure that we partner with the relevant nations and government bodies to safeguard the interests of the diaspora. As an organization, we also provide funding for various investments, be it housing, be it manufacturing, be it in oil and gas. And going by what's happening with COVID, there's been a lot of investment coming through in things like health and Medicare, PPE preparation, ICT for social distancing and enhancing businesses that way. And those winners in the COVID race, I would say, are being heavily funded by the bank. Our foundation is reaching out to enhance education across various platforms, to enhance agriculture, to enhance energy, and all those areas are areas Equity is happy to invest and support people to invest in. So I know I have just 10 minutes, I'm probably taking about 6 or 7, because I have been really intrigued by the passion of the African speakers, wherever they are, be it in the Americas, and through our patron here as well. We thank you very much that you have allowed us to showcase. My colleague Winifred Waruri is on the call. She's in charge of our international banking and money transfer business, and she's very happy to make sure that you can open an account easily through using all sorts of technology, no physical presence required. You can keep track of your investments, and you can monitor the progress of the continent and your contribution towards this growth. I want to thank once again C4N team for a lovely moderation. I want to thank the previous speakers who have not only enlightened the diaspora, but given us in Africa additional energy to keep on going, to keep on fighting, to keep on trying to improve our motherland, because it's only us who can do it.
This program is proudly brought to you by Equity Bank Diaspora Uganda Limited. Our contact person is Winfred Warui. Contact her on her cell phone number, email address, WhatsApp, and for more information, visit the website. Once again, that was our sponsor, Mr. Anthony Kituku, MD Equity Bank Uganda, highlighting to us what the diaspora has for investment in Africa. We would now like to welcome His Majesty, King Bhungane of Embo Kingdom. Welcome, His Majesty.
We are the people of the continent that are rejected wherever we are, anywhere in the world. We are rejected. But our problem is that we don't understand why we are rejected or we are so much hated. That is our biggest mistake and our biggest problem as the people of the continent of Africa. These things are happening precisely for the following: that we are the God-chosen people. God gave us what we call melanin. And this melanin, it makes you to connect with the cosmos. It makes you to connect with the waters. It makes you to be the seer, to be the prophet. No other person has that who does not originate from this continent. It's only us. And we should pride ourselves. Thus I say, celebrating rejection. Because if you find yourself in this position, you should celebrate that rejection to say, indeed, I'm the chosen one. God went further to give us to be the custodians of the minerals that you find in this continent. All these minerals, you cannot find it in any continent except this continent. Africa is a continent, not a country. It is the world's second largest, second most popular continent. Quite often slaves would be forced to lay on their waist. Our brothers and sisters were taken to the Caribbean, Americas, and North America. This became known as Atlantic slave trade. Slavery is dehumanizing. Because today our brothers, you find them in the slave trade because these foolish kings and the chiefs who did not understand what was happening, they sold their souls, they sold our brothers for just mere mirrors and fake jewelries. Little did they understood where they were sitting, the minerals underneath, how much they worth. They could have stood up and said no as principal kings, but unfortunately, these are people who are selfish, who sold our brothers and sisters to those criminals who came to took their land and their countries very late. As the king of Embo, Embo simply means the cradle of humankind. I want to profoundly extend my apologies, extend our invitation for cleansing of our brothers and sisters. If opportunities is granted, I further extend the invite for them to come back to our country, to our region in the continent. And this is your home, my brothers who are in the diaspora. Please, I humble myself to you, my brothers and sisters. Me and you are one people. There is no distance between us. We are one people. We cannot allow what happened during the slavery. That must divide us. We are one people. The continent is yours. Feel free to come back. Re-own it. Come back to develop it. It is yours. My brothers and sisters, I am sorry. I'm deeply, deeply sorry for what my predecessors did to you who are in the diasporas. I'm very sorry. I humble myself. Yes, you see me sitting, but I'm on my knees. I'm on my knees to say, please forgive those who did not know what they were doing. It is time, after 400 years, that we must forgive them. Let's meet and do the rituals to cleanse you so that you come back to our people. You come back home, because most of you, the surnames that you are carrying are not yours. You need to reconnect and know who are you. I liked what T.D. Jakes did. T.D. Jakes, what he did, he went and looked for his origin. He came back and said, I am an Igbo. Embo. So what I would, in closing, I would say, we are sorry on behalf of the kings. I know that one of my counterparts is not well. Zwelithini is in the hospital. But I think in this one you would agree with me that we are sorry.
Thank you very much, Your Majesty, King Bhungane III of Embo Kingdom for apologizing on behalf of our ancestors and for welcoming back home our children, our African descendants, back home to the land of milk and honey. And Aido Network International is ready, very ready to work with Embo Kingdom and all the other kingdoms. And follow us on Aido Network International social media platforms and Raia TV social media platforms. Thank you very much for watching the program. Till we meet next time. Bye-bye.
Tukuje pamoja sisi wote, tulete maendeleo na umoja katika